I started Jake Paul off.
So Mike Tyson has finally broken his silence after Jake Paul threw hands at him at the recent Dmitry versus Artur face-off. The heavyweight legend made a jaw-dropping appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Kimmel, where he let it all out about the brawl at the Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Showdown. Tyson called the whole situation disrespectful and hinted that Jake might have crossed a line that he can't uncross. Iron Mike didn't mince words when he called Jake out, saying, "That kid's got no respect. He's poking the wrong bear and he's gonna regret it." And Mike didn't stop there. He dropped major hints that this situation has put a huge spotlight on the upcoming showdown on November 15th, 2024. Jake being, well, Jake, is just making things worse. He's been stirring the pot on social media, posting cryptic messages and subtle jabs as if attacking Mike Tyson wasn't enough. I mean, this guy never misses a chance to troll. Let's break it down. Get this, Mike Tyson recently sat down with Jimmy Kimmel, and what was supposed to be a casual chit-chat about his upcoming fight with Jake Paul turned into a straight-up heated conversation. Let's just say that things got a little fiery when their infamous brawl was brought up. Now, I'm sure you know Tyson usually plays it cool in interviews, but this time around he was visibly furious and made it crystal clear that he's ready to put an end to Jake Paul's hype train for good. When Jimmy asked him about the backstage brawl, Mike didn't hold back. He called out Jake for being reckless and disrespectful, but the real heat came when Tyson started talking about their upcoming fight. He's clearly not just looking to win, he wants to make a statement. In fact, he flat out said, "I'm gonna shut that kid down for good. He's been running his mouth for too long, and I'm the one who's gonna stop him." You heard that right. Tyson is more fired up than ever, and it's not just because of the brawl. He sees Jake Paul as the ultimate challenge in 2024. Not because Jake's the toughest opponent out there, but because Jake's built up so much hype in the fight world, and Mike's determined to end it. And if you think Tyson is walking into this fight without a game plan, think again. He's been mapping out every strategy in the book to take down Jake, and let's be real, Mike's the last person you want plotting against you in the ring. And here's the crazy part. Tyson is the one who originally put Jake on the radar. Remember back in 2020 when Tyson made his comeback against Roy Jones Jr.? Jake Paul fought on the undercard of that event, and Tyson gave him the platform to showcase his skills. Fast forward to 2024, and Jake's now a household name in the fight world, pulling in massive crowds and millions of dollars. But Mike, he's not impressed. In fact, he said multiple times that he feels responsible for launching Jake into the spotlight, and that it's now his job to pull the plug on Jake's meteoric rise.
My fight with Roy Jones, I allowed him to fight on the card, and I decided I started him, and I'm...
Now, if you've been living under a rock, let me bring you up to speed real quick. Dmitry Bivol and Artur Showdown were in the middle of their face-off, trying to hype up their big fight on October 12th, 2024.
I mentioned at the top, you've had fighters from 147 to 168 to call you out, right? Some big names. Why Camille?
These two guys are monsters in the ring, and fans were pumped to see them trash-talk each other on stage. But here's the kicker. While Dmitry and Artur were trying to steal the show, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson ended up stealing the spotlight and the headlines. So here's what went down. Jake and Mike ran into each other backstage, and both of their entourages were there, which, let's be real, is just a recipe for chaos. Now, you know Jake Paul. The guy lives for attention, and if there's a moment where he can stir the pot, he's gonna dive headfirst. And this was no exception. When Jake saw Mike, he didn't waste any time. He started firing shots, trying to get under Tyson's skin. Mike, being the legend he is, didn't bite right away. I mean, Tyson has been in the game for decades, and he knows how to handle trash talkers like Jake. Mike stayed cool, calm, and composed, which is impressive given Jake's relentless jabs. But here's where Jake went way too far. Trash talk is one thing, but Jake crossed a line that you do not cross. He started taking shots at Tyson's family. And for Mike, that's where things get serious. You can call the man all the names in the book, but family? That's the red zone for Iron Mike. He snapped back, and this time he wasn't holding back. At first, it was just a war of words. Mike fired back with some hard-hitting lines of his own. But Jake, being Jake, decided to escalate things even more. Instead of backing down or taking a step back, Jake let his hands go. Yup, the guy couldn't wait for an actual fight, so he threw a punch at Mike right then and there. Now I'm just gonna say it. Jake made a massive mistake here. Tyson may be older, but this man is still one of the most dangerous fighters in the world. And when someone like Jake decides to put hands on a living legend, it's not going to end well. What should have been a heated verbal exchange turned into a full-blown brawl, with both entourages getting involved. It wasn't just Mike and Jake throwing punches. It was a straight-up melee. Security rushed in to break it up, but by that time, fists had already flown and the damage was done. People were knocked over, chaos erupted backstage, and before you knew it, the whole world was buzzing about the Tyson-Paul brawl. Dmitry and Artur completely overshadowed. Their face-off, which should have been the talk of the night, became background noise as Jake and Mike's drama took center stage. And honestly, can you blame people? A fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is a story too big to ignore. Fans have been talking about the possibility of these two going at it for months, but it looks like Jake couldn't wait for the official bout. Instead, he tried to jump the gun and ended up triggering one of the biggest brawls the fight world has seen in a long time. Hear me out, November 15th, 2024 is set to be an explosive night at the AT&T Arena in Arlington, Texas. The Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight has the entire sports world buzzing, and after that insane backstage brawl, the hype is completely off the charts. Fans are losing their minds, and the excitement is reaching fever pitch levels. This isn't just another fight, it's an event that's going to go down in history. Now, let's be real. On paper, Jake Paul seems like he might have the edge, mainly because of his age advantage. Jake is 27 years old, and he's at the peak of his athletic prime. Mike Tyson, on the other hand, is 58. But if you think age is going to play a big factor here, you've got to remember one thing. Tyson is still an absolute beast in the ring. That brawl backstage showed us all that. Despite the age difference, Mike isn't going down without a serious fight. Jake might be younger, faster, and have more social media clout, but Tyson's a legend for a reason. His fight IQ is off the charts. He's seen it all, done it all, and knocked out some of the most dangerous fighters in boxing history. Jake's built a career fighting social media stars, former athletes, and MMA fighters. But Mike, he's been fighting against the best of the best since the 80s. Let's talk numbers for a second. Jake Paul has a 9-1 record in the boxing world, which, to be fair, is impressive for a guy who started out as a YouTuber. He's taken down fighters like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva, and sure, he's built a reputation as a legit fighter. But compare that to Tyson's record, and it's not even a contest. Mike Tyson has 50 wins, 44 by knockout, and he's a former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. This man was knocking people out before Jake even learned how to ride a bike. Age might be on Jake's side, but Mike's experience and legendary skill set give him the ultimate edge. Tyson's been in wars with guys like Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, and Frank Bruno, fighters who would wipe the floor with Jake Paul. Tyson's not just another opponent, he's one of the greatest boxers of all time, and that's something you can't measure with numbers on a stat sheet. Don't get me wrong, Jake's journey in boxing has been impressive. He's transformed from a social media star into a serious competitor. But let's be real, Tyson's career is the stuff of legend. He became the youngest heavyweight champion at just 20 years old, and his ferocity in the ring was unmatched. His power, his movement, his mind games, it's all on another level. Jake might be confident, but there's no way he's fought anyone like Mike before. Fans are hyped not just because of Jake's fame or Tyson's history, but because this is a true clash of generations. And after that brawl, it's clear this fight is going to be personal. Jake might be the top dog in terms of age, but Tyson's experience and killer instinct make him a dangerous opponent, even at 58. So don't sleep on Iron Mike. This is a fight where anything can happen. Plus, here's the cherry on top. Tyson admitted that he's been watching Jake's fights closely, studying his moves, and preparing for every trick that Jake might try to pull. And let's be honest, if anyone can break down an opponent and find the perfect way to crush them, it's Mike Tyson. He's been there, done that, and knocked out some of the best fighters in history. Jake's flashy knockouts and social media bravado might be enough to hype up his fan base, but when you're stepping into the ring with someone like Tyson, all that talk means nothing. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen Jake Paul completely lose his cool. I mean, come on, the guy's made a name for himself as the problem child for a reason. We've already seen him brawl with Floyd Mayweather and Nate Diaz, but remember when Jake absolutely went off at that heated Mike Tyson press conference on August 18th in New York City? Yeah, that was wild. Jake's been doing this for a while now, stirring up chaos at pressers to keep people talking. But this one? Oh man, it was on a different level.
Yeah, you had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before. You needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still?
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out. So, that's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts on this recent brawl? Fill the comment section with your thoughts and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.